Hi, and good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss about online communication models. So, when you talk about models, you may ask me, is there a segregation on this for separate content modules? Well, what you have to look at is the objectivity of your communication, especially when it comes on online medium. You need to have a fixed target audience in that sense to address to. Uh, in my opinion, I have been always uh, been focusing on these uh, terms of basics of journalism, wherein we always used to work on five W's and one H. I think if you can adopt to that system of understanding of content delivery in five W's and one H, mostly things are going to be in a better manner and in a better position to understand the techniques and details of the content. So, what are these five W's and one H? Well, it is like who, like who is that you are going to target? What is that you're going to tell the content is going to be for these particular target audience, and where is that you are getting it from, and why is that you are delivering it to the end user for that matter. And obviously you are looking at the point where and when it is happening. Obviously people will be keen to know that say how it is been, like perceived, and what is that you are going to tell the audience about it. So these five W's and this one H is going to support all your content delivery thing in the communication model. Whatever model you are looking at, the models can be defined uh, the way you are developing the communication tool. For that matter, if you have a email to be delivered, if you have specific social media post to be developed, or if you are looking at the website which you want to develop for your organization, at all these places what you have to basically uh, say look at is um, say how you are going to input that. See, input is very important. um, Say for a good output what you need is a good input too. So there is a saying that if you give in garbage, you will get out the garbage. It's there is no doubt in that sense. So in the input segment, what you have to look at is the software part, the hardware part. Um, Say in digital media, there are a team number of software packages which allows you to develop content and deliver it in a way that the end user will enjoy it. Um, so in selection of these software packages, what you have to be careful is that look at the target audience and what are they looking for as a content, quality content for that matter, and then develop it for their particular usages. Say quality of in this case it is images, the video, the audio. All this really matters when it comes to people who are you looking at. The technology have improved in a way that we are not limited to say content that is innovative, content that are say hugely creative and interactive. Uh, you may also need to look at say the augmented reality part of the content development in for the next generation um, youngsters, which like they are really into that area of augmented reality and virtual reality. So to catching them into that slot is also very important. Say it's basically looking at the way we are going to develop things. When I speak about the software packages, there are I really don't want to name certain software packages, but all design software packages, if you look at, you can find one particular one which is going to help you out in developing, say, the content which is targeted for your audience. So we look at that. You can find many of such software packages available in the market. When you look at the hardware also, see, there are several hardware packages which really gives the quality content. It's not necessary to have very expensive hardware packages to work on digital media. Even a smartphone with 4K, say, possibilities of video recording is quite good enough and handy for your say, content development team. So that's something which is going to be part of the understanding of the basics of online communication models. Once you have all these things in mind, then you decide what are the model you are going to look at. See, in the communication segment, it is very, very quite possible in that sense. Uh, when you communicate, it should reach the person in the right manner. For instance, I can give you an example of a communication. Maybe you can call it experimentation or case study, wherein I was traveling to a place, a new place, and then I reached there. Well, I used Google Maps to reach that particular point. But when I looked out, I couldn't see what I was looking for, say, in a better satisfied manner. So I asked the local person who is just walking, say, alongside me, and uh, say, I could sense that he is a local person that can, I mean, like, his communication can help me out of what I need to know about. So I just asked him. See, I was looking for a restaurant which is like, maybe I and my friends, I mean, like, can go and have food. So I checked with him, like, is there a better place, neat and clean and with good food, a restaurant somewhere nearby? So there are, see, there were four possibilities in this communication reply which I can get from this person. He may keep quiet. See, there is no answer in that sense. What could be the reason for that? It could be that what I've asked him was not clear to him, or he is not aware of a restaurant. He may not have gone to a good restaurant nearby, or his database has no information about that. So he kept quiet. So the second option could be like, he may say that, yes, I know. But then I have to ask another question. See, can you tell me where it is? So he explains. He will explain to me that, say, uh, 4 say meters away, there is a left turn, and then you take that turn, and the first building has this restaurant. It's a wonderful restaurant. But so that's an information he is going to give me in that sense. So I just can go away. But incidentally, he just looked at us and he said, see, you are 4 or 5, I believe, but why do you go to that particular place? It's not that good and very expensive for you to dine there. Or maybe I can suggest a place which is, say, for you people will be much, much better. Yeah, it's just, say, few furlongs away, but it's a wonderful place. And well, I'm going that side. If you can walk with me, I can, uh, I mean, like, show you that place, and you can enjoy your food there. See, this information is very vital for me, wherein he has advised me as a local person who have experienced the food there and sharing his experience. So this communication have given me an information that, see, this is something which is very relevant. I can try this out. So I'm going there and trying it out. So when I am trying it out, it's kind of an experience that I feel that the person who I have asked have given his source with this vital information to be enjoying the thing. So I thank him and just leave it. This is the way the online communication model also have to behave in. That's what I've always felt. So you have to give information which is there by the person who have asked you or have come to your website or communication tool. Uh, so it's going to be very impressive in that sense. So you give an information, additional information that is available with you to the user. So the user is going to be very, very, very happy. Let me come to say another segment of content functionalities for digital media. What is that you are looking at for the functional, say, quality of your website? That's very important to consider when you plan a website. It's not necessary that it's a news website. It can be from any industry for that matter. But the functionalities have to be very, very, very crucial and qualitative in that sense. People come to your website just to see what they really want to say experience about the things. Suppose if your information is authentic and of use for him, I think it's possible that he will be coming back sooner or later. So this is something which is going to hook your people to enjoy your services in the content industry. That is something which it's very, very important in that sense. Say it can be qualitative in the sense with innovations put into, but just innovations will not work. It should be, say, one. I can divide this into some, say, five segments. Accuracy. It should be accurate. Your information, which is being put up on your website or communication tool, should be accurate. And people are looking at authority. Is it that your website have that authority to give that information which you have provided? See, that's the reason why, say, mainstream newspapers with their websites, digital websites, are say enjoying the credibility which they have managed to acquire in these long years of being in the industry. So if there is an information which is of authoritative in that sense, see, people will love to be part of it, look at it and enjoy it the way they really wanted to have it to be put up. And there is something which is called currency. What is that? Say, is your information current? If it is current, then it makes sense. Digital media is something which has to be updated in seconds. Earlier, we used to think that, okay, we can update in a day's time, but the time has changed to a segment wherein almost all of us have say information on our fingertips, and if the website which we are looking at is not been updated to the second wherein you got hooked to that, people will be, say, framing a mindset where they will feel like, no, this website is not going to be updated on daily basis or on a, say, hourly basis, which I require to have information about. This is primarily when you look at the tourism industry, wherein, so you have a website where you really wanted to book a hotel room, wherein if the website is not updated with the number of rooms which has been, say, allocated to others, and you just going to wait for people, and the circle on that screen is just unlimitedly roaming, you will feel bad about it. That's something which had happened with many travel websites, wherein they couldn't give the right information at the right time. So it's very important to give right information on right uh, time. There is the fourth element, which is like objectivity. So what is that objective of that particular site? I mean, every end user is going to look at that. If say certain information is being given and the reader feels that the objective of this particular website is that say he is going to get an advertisement, or it is a kind of a native advertisement he is running, so his objectivity is to make money from that particular content. So there is a slight say sense of disbelief in that, whether this person is giving this rating for this particular hotel is been a paid kind of a service, which is. But I'm sure that even if a paid service also, certain websites give authentic rating, and then people who are traveling can book the hotel rooms in that segment. Say, after objectivity, the coverage is very important. How say effectively one website, even if it is a smaller segment of websites. Have been experiencing this with a hospital website also. Like when I am going there and finding out whether is there any doctor available online for consultation, and when I look at the list of the doctors in the offline segment, it is much more, and the online it is few. I just am worried about the coverage of that particular website. See, you need to give more information, authentic information, in a very relevant situations in that sense. So this is something which has to be put in, say, practice for all the online communication models you are working on. It can be differentiated in a way that say how people are using this say particular segment in a way that to achieve qualitative output in that sense. Now, see, I'm just giving you some focus on the users segment, because the fourth pillar of digital media, content development, always have to look at the satisfaction levels of the users. User is, say, the king, and he decides whether your website have to have, say, the numbers for that matter. So making him happy is the foremost thing which we have to be focusing on. Say satisfied users always comes back. One, two, they say word of mouth publicity. They are the ones who are going to give this word of mouth publicity to your website. So always work towards the end users convenience for that matter. um, that's very important. Even from the content development side to the design to the functionalities, um, you need to focus on the interest of the users. Second thing which you have to work on is that what are your goals. Every story for that matter, in that sense, like if you are working on for any website, there should be a goal to achieve. If you can say decide on that, I would always be negotiating for something which is like you need to have a pre-production script, and then work on it. Once you are say done with it, you just go and look for post-production script. So you have a pre-planned kind of opportunity to look at these things, and then go forward with the final version of the script. See, this is where the goals works for the content development or segmentation of, say, online communication model, wherein you're getting all these details in a fixed format in that sense. Say, context of the content for that matter. Why are you, say, putting up this content? So if you have the context clear with you, you can share that with the reader also, wherein the story itself is going to explain the context of the content in that sense. Um, then you can look at the effectiveness, how effective it is going to be if you're doing it in a particular fashion, the content delivered in a particular fashion. What is that effectiveness? If it is delivered in a different fashion, how it is going to change the effectiveness? All this you can say study. When you study all these things, say you will find the efficiency factor in that particular content. This efficiency factor will give you numbers. If it is efficient, the content is efficient, I'm sure multiple people will be looking at it, and the content is going to be viral at uh, certain possible phases in that sense. I don't say that, I don't commit also that being the content so efficient it goes viral, but at certain time limit it will surely is going to be viral because it is efficient in that sense. The last point which we have to look at is that what was the satisfaction level of that particular story which you have put on by the end user for that matter. See, there are two levels of satisfactions which you have to measure. The satisfaction of the producer of the content, one. Did he did his work in a proper way and have achieved his satisfaction of delivering that content to the end user? If he has done it well, I think it is going to reflect this on the satisfaction level of the end user. I'm sure it is going to impact the satisfaction level of the end user. But then look at, you should have kind of a study on the satisfaction levels of the people who are using it, measure it in a way that you can put up surveys or make certain calls and then find out what was missing in that particular content. If there is something that they have pointed out that, see, this particular segment, why have you have, I mean, used an image, why don't you use an, I mean, like video, you could have used a video, for much better impact for that story. So it's a learning experience for you to understand, say, the way the end user is going to say experience it, and his experience really matters. His satisfaction really matters. So this is something which we need to work on when we really look at the online communication models. So every model which you are going to work on has to have all these segments put in a very, very, very systematic manner. There could be like, say, feedbacks from the experts. There are two people you have to always consult with. One is the experts, which they have their technical know-hows, the content know-hows, and it could be even academic in that sense also. You can listen to them, they are the experts, but ultimately it is not their views to be taken forward as something which you really want to correct something on your content part. You need to look at the end users comments and say views also. So it is not that will these two will match and you can easily get into the correction mode. In my experience, I found uh, at many times, uh, which is like going to be, say, different in that sense. um, See, Mr. Sunil Prabhakar has asked me this question. Which are the things that we need to keep in our mind while preparing content for an online campaign, especially to get good visibility? See, that's a wonderful question he has asked. So, um, see, I've been telling you all these things. See, the first thing which I would like to work on will be like I'll put all this basic journalistic thing, like 5 Ws and 1 H. If all these things are covered in a sense that mm, the end user is satisfied with, when you have all these 5 and 1 6 elements, I think it is going to be a fantastic content that you can work on for any campaign for that matter. And for the visibility factor, what I would like to suggest is that look at original content, say image for that matter, relevant content, which is it's not necessary, or it is not pardonable in that sense to use something which is available online. You just Google out an image and use it for the purpose. Never do that. If you are doing that, see, don't think that people have not seen it. People have seen it. Umpteen times they have seen it. So something which is like, see, original, always work on originals, and then use that particular image which say really going to be part of the campaign in a real sense. You can always look at multimedia options. You can have audio, you can have videos, you can have interactive segments wherein say if you're working on a campaign with good visibility, obviously there will be references one, or reactions to. There could even be like, say, if it is call to sale also, it can also happen. So the campaign, the purpose of the campaign should be served. To serve that particular say requirement, you need to have quality work imbibed into the system one, and then worked on with the kind of, like I've told you in the earlier portion, that your inputs, like the kind of softwares and hardware you're using, has to be qualitative in that sense. When you have that quality intact in that segment, your output is going to be uh, matching to that quality. It's like qualitative input will always give you an qualitative output. So this is something which is to be taken very seriously when you work on any campaign for that matter. Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunil Prabhagar, for this wonderful question. So let me come to the conclusion. See, I've been offered only 30 minutes of time, so I have 2 more minutes to conclude this session. It's basically when we are looking at the online communication models. Uh, I think there is no limit to suggest just one or two in that category. So you can say think about a lot of segments wherein it can be mix and match kind of a thing, which really you might have thought was very successful in the print media. You can think of something which is very successfully handled by the television media. You can also think about something which have always been hit on radio. And then also you can look at things which has been there in all other media elements, like from photography to videography to podcasting. Say I've been talking about augmented reality and virtual reality also. So all these things, if you can include everything into one segment and deliver it in a way very subtly, not really troubling the reader or the end user. I use this word. Please never try to trouble the end user. He will never come back if you do that. So let's make the end user happy, and that's something which I think is going to be a wonderful thing for all of us to work on online content developing models, online communication development models. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining me and listening to me. We'll come up with some more subjects in later days. And once again, I thank the real media segments for arranging this opportunity for me. Thank you. Thank you.